so now we're gonna jump into Aaron Rodgers. So Aaron Rodgers signed a 3-year, 150 million extension with 101 million guaranteed. How do you feel about this? Do you think this is a win for Rodgers or a win for Packers or a win for both sides? What's your take on this?
I believe that it's a win for Rodgers. I mean, he got paid. He gets to stay where he's comfortable in a not so
Absolutely.
great division. As we talked about, the QB talent, they're in the AFC right now. Who's left in the NFC? Brady came back probably for the same reasons that I'm saying. Brady's hey, Aaron's there. I'll usually beat him anyway. I think that it's frustrating because what is he, 11-10 in the playoffs?
He
They
has
always seem to
11 and
lose at
10 in
home
the
in the playoffs.
playoffs.
Yep,
Absolutely.
they always seem to lose at home in the playoffs. He has great numbers. I think 45 touchdowns and 13 picks, but he doesn't take enough
In the
chances.
playoffs, yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't take enough chances. He'll take bad sacks at the worst times. He'll throw the ball away. He wasn't taking enough risks and some bad luck, of course. But the bottom line is that it's worth a shot because if you're Green Bay, it's like, hey, we had Favre and Rodgers. What's the odds of continuing, getting another guy? Whatever happened with Love, they drafted him. It's over with. He's there. So if you're the Packers, I agree with it. If you're Aaron Rodgers, it's comfortable, and I'm okay with it. But part of me wanted to see him, go to Pittsburgh or go to, a team that, the way Brady did, the way, in my opinion, Russ kind of did, hey, I'm going to go challenge Mahomes and Herbert and Allen and those guys. I just feel like Rodgers is comfortable, and it makes sense for him financially and in the way he lives his life.
So personally, everybody might think I'm crazy on this one, but the real ones will know that I am not. Well, I am. Anyway, I think Green Bay should have never made this deal happen. Personally, I'll give Rodgers 1 year deal, 50 million. Right?
Yeah.
If you're really that guy, let's run it back one more time. But 3 years, I personally say no. Why? Because you drafted Jordan, you moved up in the draft last year to get Jordan Love, right? When coaches and organizations, GMs move up to get a quarterback, right? I personally think they have something that they feel about him. Maybe it's arm talent, maybe what they want to do in the future. This guy might be a perfect fit for it. Rodgers is 38 years old as we speak. 3 years, I don't see Rodgers dominating in the NFL for the next 3 years. But again, maybe also looking at his division, he's definitely going to make the playoffs. That's not a question. So however long he's there, he's going to definitely make the playoffs for the next 3 years. But also, here's my point, right? You have Josh, no, who's Bears? Okay, so now the Bears have
Bears have a quarterback?
yeah, they have Justin Fields.
Okay,
The
they haven't
Bears
had a
have
quarterback in 35 years. All right.
exactly. They have Justin, who's still yet to prove himself, but being a Buckeye fan, I'm rooting for him highly. So they have Justin Fields with the Bears. You have Jared Goff with the Lions, and Kirk Cousins with the Vikings, who we're going to talk about after Brady. You look at all these guys. These guys are not people that are, they don't threat. Brady doesn't. Rodgers doesn't feel any threat going into this year, next year, whatever it may be, because even if they're to draft a quarterback or trade for a quarterback or whatever, they still got to work on the team. So Rodgers is like, listen, I'll go back to Green Bay. They love me here. I don't have to really do much. I've only been to the Super Bowl one time, won it, and that's it. They're content with who I am. So guess what? He's gonna go back there where everybody thinks he's a god. But Green Bay, you gotta also think about it. This guy last year didn't want to really play, sat out, came back, franchise tag. Now 3 years. It's like I wanted my way. I want my cake and eat it too. No, he has to earn this. And the next 2 years, what makes you guys think you were saying hey, he might, be like, hey, we have Favre, Rodgers, what could go wrong? Yeah, you have Favre and Rodgers, 2 Super Bowls. Favre had one, Rodgers got one, maybe that's it. Maybe Green Bay just knows how to win one Super Bowl with a great quarterback.
In Rodgers' defense, he did have to deal with Mike McCarthy, who I believe
Okay, he did have to
the
deal with
league
Mike
figured him out.
McCarthy.
Like McCarthy was good from like 2000 and I think he was from the 49ers actually. I
He
remember
was never good. Don't ever say he was good with the 49ers. He was
he
with the
was an
49ers.
offensive
Let me
coordinator.
say,
He was a coach with the Niners.
2005, he was our coach. He had the opportunity
Yeah.
to draft Aaron Rodgers, but he chose to draft Alex Smith from Utah State, right? Conservative move. I get it. But
Right.
at the same time, you have to understand Rodgers was a little bit proven, Alex Smith was more of a safer pick, which he became a safe player moving on, a good game manager. Rodgers has always had that chip on his shoulder. So when, guess what? The gods of football are not stupid. When all of that was all said and done, we got rid of Mike McCarthy. Guess what happened? He goes to Green Bay.
And he
And guess
revived
who,
Brett Favre's
and
career. He
guess
helped
who
Brett
was
Favre.
there?
He did. He got to go to Brett Favre, and remember this: the move was questioned. Everyone was like, "Who's this Mike McCarthy guy?" And you know what? Favre did well with him. Him and Rodgers clicked for 3 years, and then you know what? It seemed like McCarthy got figured out by like 2012. They blew that Seattle game. They blew a lot of games that they should have won in the playoffs. So
And also, yeah, sure, he blew a lot of games, but now you have my Matt LaFleur. This guy, Matt LaFleur, Zach Taylor, Cal Shanahan, and what's his name, the Rams coach. They all came from the same tree, all right? They are great. Sean McVay, sorry. They all have this great offensive system. Look at the players and look at everybody he got around Rodgers. 2 years he was there, they were the best team in the league. When they went to this playoffs, they didn't have Mike McCarthy. They didn't have Mike McCarthy. Michael Stephen, I'm repeating this one more time. They did not have Mike McCarthy. They did have a good defense this time. They did have home field advantage this time. They were playing the worst team in the playoffs last season and could not put up more than 20 points, Mike. They were at home again. They sat home for a whole week to watch film, to get prepared, and still came out and played like they never played before. Aaron Rodgers was 1 for 3 in the last drive to do something for his team for 4 yards. People should not forget this. I don't care. That's a Jimmy Garoppolo stats right there. So my point is, if Rodgers can't do it, why sit there and give him that money? I'd rather nurture love right now. And then go get you like a Matt Ryan, like somebody just to sit behind him and coach him here and there. Let Rodgers go. Get like 5 draft picks for your team, and now build around Love. But at the same time, I'm a Niners fan. People might think I'm hating. I'm not hating, but I'm actually really not scared of Aaron Rodgers. I might be scared of him during the regular season. Playoffs, I want us to play Rodgers. It feels good, especially to go win at his home field. We did it with Kaepernick. We did it with Jimmy Garoppolo. We did it with we didn't do it with Jimmy Garoppolo. We did it with our defense and special teams.
Jimmy G was the winning quarterback of the game.
But he was the winning quarterback.
I will give you, a couple of points that I agree with. You go 13-3, 2 straight years, back-to-back MVPs.
No, 13-3 and 14-3. Back-to-back MVPs. Touchdown interception ratio.
But listen, you're right. 14-3.
The last
he played half the game. You're right. The thing is that I like that. Like, hey, we're going to give you 1 year out of respect. But we're not going to give you more, because the other thing that I obviously would never wish this on him, because I love watching him play and he's an all-time great player, but he has been an injury risk throughout his career. He's had 4 or 5 injuries.
Serious injuries, yeah.
Yeah,
his toe, his shoulder.
And he's getting up there in age, and the weather conditions sometimes there. Like, and the other point is that a parallel I just thought of is, like, if you look at Rodgers' stats in 2018 and 2019, they look like almost eerily identical, even like the number of wins, like I think 6-7 wins to Russell last year, to the point of like, he got McCarthy out. Like Aaron Rodgers, like this is what I saw. Aaron Rodgers was throwing a ball out of bounds half the time because he couldn't stand the plays, or he just didn't want to take risks, and he was just throwing the ball out of bounds, throwing it away. Basically got McCarthy out of there through his mind, and it's like that's what Russ should have done. But so I kind of like your point. Like, hey, listen, 1 year, let's do this. And if you lose in the playoffs again, like, yeah, we got to retool here because
Yeah,
you are
and
crippling the team going forward. You know, like it's a lot of money.
and 1 year, 50 million. Listen, Brady signed 2 years with Tampa for 50 million. Okay, so you giving Rodgers
Tom's
1
got
million.
a rich wife that practices
It doesn't
witchcraft. Don't
matter.
bring him up.
Same with Rodgers. He's got a supermodel or whatever, a girlfriend. Apparently, they're not together again, so he's gonna be better this year. That's what one of my clients was telling me this at work. But anyway, that's something we'll say for another day. All right, but enough for Rodgers because I don't. I have listen. I can keep going on and on.